Explaining Mordekaiser's rework. For dummies. Mordekaiser's passive, Darkness Rise. Mordekaiser's basic attacks deal bonus magical damage. After 3 spells or attacks against the champion, Darkness Rises deals damage to nearby enemies and gives movement speed until Mordekaiser is out of combat. Basically his old W, except with a 3-hit passive. And also no healing. And also it's stingy. And also it doesn't run out. Mordekaiser's Q, Obliterate. Mordekaiser slams down his mace, dealing damage in an area or bonus damage to a single enemy. So if you've been playing League of Legends for a while like I have, you'll realize that this sounds very familiar. This is literally his old Q before his rework for the Juggernaut rework. Except AoE. I mean, technically the old one was AoE, but it was single target damage and also not AoE. It was weird. Point being, harder to hit, but more rewarding. With some kind of counterplay. And not an auto attack. Mordekaiser's W. So glad they kept some kind of metal theme with this. The Evil Overlord absorbs 25% of damage taken and damage dealt. Casting once generates a shield with this value, and casting it again will consume 50% of the shield for health. So think of his current passive if it was the love child of Trinimir's Q and Tahm Kench's E. Mordekaiser's E, Death's Grasp. Passively, Mordekaiser gains 25% magical penetration. When activated, a Deadly Claw drags enemies towards him, dealing damage. I could say think of Darius's E except for magic, but it's literally Darius's E except magic. Though slower, it does offer more, in my opinion, for what it is. In League of Legends, we have armor and we have magic resistance. I mean, obviously, but hey, we have it. But there is a big difference between the two. Obviously, the biggest difference is that one is for magic damage and one is for physical damage, but magic resistance is a lot harder to build than armor. So being able to shred it passively gives you a very huge boost versus somebody who can do the exact same thing but for armor. So though slower than Darius's E and easier to dodge, it still, in my opinion, is a better version of it, solely because of the magic pen. And Mordekaiser's ultimate, Realm of Death. Mordekaiser banishes a single enemy champion to the Death Realm for a 7-second 1v1, stealing a percentage of their core stats. If he kills his target, he consumes their soul, keeping their partial stats until they respawn. So this is just somebody taking 1v1 me bro a little bit too seriously. If you want a real comparison, think of Legion Commander's ultimate from Dota 2, except with counterplay. And honestly, this is probably the best way they could have done this ultimate, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, he steals your stats, yeah, he has to 1v1 you and nobody else can help you, but you don't have to kill him. If anything, one of the better things you could do if you can't fight him is just run away from him, and for 7 seconds, he's not in a team fight. So it turns into a 4v4 team fight, or a 3v4 team fight if it was a 4v5. Final thoughts? He's pretty good. I'm really happy to see him getting some love and getting a rework that he deserves. And also I'm glad that they're keeping the whole AP Bruiser kind of theme with him as well. Giving him that flat amount of penetration really helps him for the bruiser aspect of his kit. I mean, look at Darius. He has it on his kit, and he's a really good bruiser at the moment. Though borderline overpowered because of his healing, he's still really good. Though he still doesn't have the ability to go Rod of Ages because he's going to have no mana costs. And Rod of Ages being a really good item for, old-time bruisers, like when Maokai was a bruiser and Malphite was a bruiser and all these other AP bruisers that were in the game, he's still going to have some kind of decent items that he could go. I mean, the first thing that comes to my head is a Rylai's build because of the whole AoE his slow that he has, and also his E being able to pull people in and all that good stuff, or with his Q, and also making it to where people can't run away from him in his 1v1. He can go Abyssal Mask now. It wasn't even an item back in the day when he was able to go these bruisey builds. I mean, not only is he getting 15% more damage to people around him while he has Abyssal Mask on him, he gets that 25% magic pen. So that just amplifies his damage even more. But there are so many good items now that he can abuse that he can go and be a bruiser for. So I'm really glad we're getting some kind of AP bruiser. I really like AP bruisers. Will he be overpowered though? I mean, obviously Riot wants to make money, right? So people that don't have him are going to buy him. And also people that don't have him that buy him will also buy skins because they're like, oh my god, Mordekaiser, he's a suit of armor, edgy as hell, I want that skin. But since we only know one of his actual stats being the 25% magical penetration that he gets, it's hard to say. Though he doesn't have a real ultimate, and by real ultimate I mean some kind of combat one or some kind of thing he can use that's actually a huge bonus to him, he still steals stats from people. So being a bruiser, he's going to be able to take your stats, tank your damage, and then also deal damage to you. I mean, it's a great thing. for a bruiser. If there was anything that I would consider changing on his kit, I actually didn't think about that. I actually don't know. What would I change? The only thing that I can think of changing on his kit is his passive. So, I mean, he gets into combat with an enemy champion and then just kind of perma-pushes the wave. But other than that, I mean, until we see the numbers, I don't think there's much I'd actually change. This is probably my favorite rework. This is probably my favorite rework wide. Whoa, man, I'm a child! This is probably the best rework that Riot has done, in my opinion. And by rework, I mean like full-fledged rework. Not just like, hey, visual update Ezreal, or hey, Sion's a completely new champion, Sion. But this keeps the theme of his kit and evolves it into this amazing, deadly, bruiser, AP dude that just wants to smack your face in. Hell, I'd let him smack my face in. Have you seen his armor? Damn it, looking shiny. Honestly, this is really, really good. Really, really good rework. Good job, Riot. You got one right. Now, can we talk about Rageblade?